From Super League to Olympic distance to age group world records to Kona. Go longer with the right fuel at the right time with SFuels.
This is a phenomenal bike ride, and I can tell you he's so casual. This is his first time he's ever biked the full 112 miles here in Hawaii. He's never been up to the turn in Harvey. He's certainly been up there today. Doesn't he look...
Everybody, welcome to Breakfast with Bob from St. George, Utah. This is our championship edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Master Spa, Zoot Sports, the original triathlon brand. HOKA, Let's Fly, SFuels, Go Longer. Biostarks.com. Use the code BWB for a 10% discount. Quintanaroo, Form Smart Swim Goggles, Zions Bank, Premium Plus Sports, and of course, our Challenge Athletes Foundation. The 2022 Ironman 70.3 World Champion, adding to an entire list of lifetime achievements all in one year. Mr. Kristian Blummenfelt joins us. Kristian, first of all, congratulations on a great race. But I know Kona was so important to you. Does this replace that or not quite?
I think it can't replace it, but it's still obviously nice. It's a World Championship title, and it's something I've been missing. But it's still... Yeah, I think I had to wait like another year before getting that chance on Kona again. But again, like it was a great day yesterday, and happy with how the body has been responding after Hawaii, and yeah, it was fun racing.
I mean, 3 weeks is not a lot of time. It seems like a lot of time until it starts, and you're going, how long did it take you from finishing Kona and being, third place before you guys started training again?
Ooh, it took like 3-4 days, I would say. But then you're still like smashed in your quads and your legs, and maybe a week in and you start like feeling all right.
Yes.
But like when I did my first one in Cozumel, I raced Daytona 13 days later.
Yeah, I remember that, yes.
So I was quite confident that 3 weeks would be like it's even one more extra week.
An extra week, bonus time.
And one side you can think, oh, it's a like big race, it would be really break down after the race.
Right.
You can also look at it as a big training camp,
So when I look at everything you've accomplished, what you've done in the last year is basically somebody's career, right? Gold medal, 70.3 Worlds, Ironman Worlds, sub 7 hours, Canadian Open, silver medal. Everything you've done is, how do you maintain that? Just the fact that your body has to be beaten up after everything you've done over this last year and a half.
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to long distance, I think it's important to be like, if you are prepared to really race the distance and you are able to like get in the volume in advance.
Yes.
Then it's not like you just are surviving out there on the course, and right. I think that's going to help you also being able to bounce back quicker. Like for example, if you're running 30 or 40k a week, and then suddenly have to do a 42k. On top of what you've already done,
yes,
of course you will be smashed. But we have always had like this high volume since we were juniors, and I think that's something we really take advantage of when it comes to recovery. And
so even when you guys were focused on Olympics and short distance, you were still doing high volume. So the transition from the Olympic format to this wasn't as bad.
No, that's true. So we even started like when we did the short distance to do like some 70.3s like in the back end of the season.
Right.
And I did my first one in 2017 in Bahrain, and that was actually after watching Ben Canute racing the Chattanooga race. We were up in Formeau and watching it. I think it was a week before the grand final.
Yes.
And he had this battle with
Javier Gomez.
Yeah. And then we were watching it like all together in the team, and I just said, okay, I just have to do one now. Like I've been waiting so long, I just have to start picking a race I really want to do.
Did you feel that these distances would be good for you back then? Because I remember looking at a lot of Gustav's results and going, okay, there was nothing there in 2017 that said he would be good and great at long distance, but you were having a lot of success at the shorter distance.
I think we had confidence in it, like because we do massive training weeks,
right?
Since we're young, and it's maybe a little bit of that kind of self-belief, and like when we were 16, 17 coming through as a youth national team, then all the guys back then, like they said, yeah, they might be good at sprint and Olympic distance. This was back in Norway.
Yeah.
But they can't do 7.3. They need the volume for that. And then Gustav won Haugesund in 2016 pro race.
Yeah.
And then they changed like their attitude to they might do an Olympic distance at 7.3, but Ironman is different. but we have always had that belief that of course we can do it. And
you always knew.
Yeah, or at least had the feeling of it.
Yes. So we were up here yesterday interviewing the women, and you guys run by, and it's you, and it was Ben, and it was Magnus, and that's pretty much the way it was. That's the way it stayed all day. But there was a point where Ben comes up and basically takes a lead, and you're not used to somebody passing you in the run. What the heck?
And even he was dropped on the bike.
Yes.
Like we dropped him on the way down from Snowcanyon again, and I thought, okay, I'm running now with Fredrik Funk and Magnus.
Yes.
My goal with the bike was to see if I could drop Gustav and really kind of get him out
of Europe, so you don't have to worry about him.
Yeah, so I thought, okay, I can sort of jog in, but then the run like felt a little bit like not the smoothest ones. So it was actually quite nice when Ben came up and he could kind of just set the pace, because the pace wasn't like I was comfortable in it,
right?
But I just didn't want to set it myself.
Yes.
So then I can just change the focus from pushing the pace and looking at the watch and trying to like go faster to just be run relaxed at this behind him, and it was great.
Yeah, well, and you knew that Magnus was back, so it was just at that point it's a two-person race, and you also know that you love that last downhill when you're going to go with 5K to go. That's sort of your territory.
But I also knew that he has been here prepping for this race.
Yes.
So I knew that he's really good at like dialing in and doing all his preparation towards one, and he has had a tough season so far, not really getting his results. And I can also like just giving you that fire that you really need to get that standout performance. So I still was like not 100% sure. Like I knew that he was like surging out of every hill, every corner up on the golf course. Like it seems like he really knew the course really well. And even though I felt I had like this second gear I needed for the last lap, I wasn't 100% sure.
Well, and if I'm Ben, I'm sitting there going, this guy's got sub-7 in his legs. He's got Kona in his legs. He's got St. George full in his legs. I don't. So you would have thought, Ben's thinking, okay, when it comes to leg speed coming down the hill, I might have it.
Yeah, and even like he's good at the mixed relay, like the super short distance. So I didn't dare to wait until the last K. So I had to find that right moment, like 10K, that's too long to go.
Too long,
that's too long. I don't want to push myself that deep for that long. And 5K is like, okay, let's try the first one there, and it worked.
Well, in the Olympics, it was 1K. You went with 1K when it was 8,000 degrees out, and here 5K. And when we first chatted here last May, it was I've envisioned myself running this last 5K for the world title. And now you got to do it twice.
Yeah, it's a super nice feeling. And coming onto the blue carpet and see the finish tape, it's always like what I'm striving for coming into a race.
The thing that always impresses me about you is you understand that the race is more than just yourself, right? And when we were in Daytona, you were every kid. This is the day before your race. Kids were racing, and here comes the Olympic gold medalist out to sign every autograph, take every photo with all those kids finishing on the Daytona Speedway. And then here, race is done, and you're out talking to every volunteer and thanking them for being there. You look at that as a big part of your role as a leader in the sport.
Well, of course, like they've been hosting the World Championship now for the third time in like 13 months.
Yes.
And you see all the volunteers turning up, like 4,000 or 5,000 of them, like making the event possible. And without St. George, we would have lost 2 World Championships last year.
Yes, you're right.
So they've really been like keeping the sport alive, and that's something I think all the athletes is appreciating, that we're really feeling so welcomed in the city, and that they are like, hosting the event.
So most people would look at winning going sub-7 and winning St. George twice, 70.3 and Worlds. Okay, now I get to put my feet up and relax, and you're off to Bermuda because you have an ITU race or WTCS race next weekend.
Yeah, so normally you go to Bermuda for holiday, I guess, but now we are going to Bermuda, swapping out the bike with a road bike.
Yes.
And then, so we arrived on Thursday now and had like 2 or 3 sessions on the bike before race day on Sunday. So we have good memories from
Yes.
Bermuda. I think that's really where the Norwegian team kind of came through with the podium sweep.
That's
like
right.
4 years ago now.
Yeah. It's
So
been a
time
while.
flies. So hopefully we can do something similar, magical on Sunday.
Yes.
But my main goal for next month is more Abu Dhabi with the grand final, because
Yes.
then I have more time to really prepare. So I
Right.
take Bermuda more as it comes. Of course, I want to be up in the mix, but my goal is Abu Dhabi.
Yes. And like you said early in the bike, your goal was get away from Gustav. Were you getting reports on, okay, Gustav's pretty far back, and did you know he had dropped out?
Not really. Like the first kind of dog leg in the course where you can get your timing split yourself is like just after you're exiting the reservoir.
Yes.
So then I saw he was like 25, 30 seconds down. So okay, he's not in the group yet. So then I was really keep pushing the pace on the way back. And suddenly I saw Magnus was up there.
Yes.
But I couldn't see Gustav.
Which
But
is a good thing.
But I wasn't sure. But it's hard. Like you can't just turn around and see all the time.
No.
And it was like 5 guys behind. So I wasn't 100% sure, because I thought maybe Ben could have been Gustav.
Right.
But by looking behind, and I think I got the first timing or feedback after, or with the Dixie sign.
Right, a Dixie sign, then you got a sense.
And I was like 50 seconds down, and thought, okay, the gap is increasing, so just keep the hammer down until Snow Canyon and up the Snow Canyon, and then I don't have to run against him.
A lot of the folks were worried about, okay, what clothes do I put on for before this, when I come out of the water, because I'm going to be cold. And I think you said, I want to make sure I'm cold when I come out of the water, because to heat up, I need to ride a bike hard.
Yeah, so that's like a trick, you know. You can do dress a little bit uncomfortably cold.
Yes.
So you just have to go hard to stay warm. And I was surprised that I didn't freeze on my fingers.
Yes.
Even, like in the
no
beginning.
gloves.
No gloves. So just saving the time in transition. And I came out of the water thinking, oh, this is a bad position. Like I'm probably like further down than I was hoping for.
Yes.
But then suddenly out of T1, I was like 4th. And
So you're right there.
very quickly up with Ben. So I think that's kind of made me kind of glide through the group, because a lot of
Yes.
people used extra time in transition, and suddenly I was in a good position.
And then, so Abu Dhabi, then do you get a break after Abu Dhabi?
Break. Like the season next year starts early, and
Yes.
we want to get in enough races before May, because of the qualification to the Olympics. There's like 2
Right.
periods, so we want to get probably 5 or 6 races, including Bermuda and Abu Dhabi, in before May, if that's possible.
The other race that you had this summer that I know meant a lot to you was the sprint finish at Bergen. Now, obviously, you want to win, but seeing a WTCS race in your hometown and being able to have you and Gustav and Casper, everybody on the starting line, that had to be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that was magic. Like just to see like triathlon coming home to Bergen and see all the crowds turning up, and how excited all the athletes were to race there and see the course. And I was actually quite pleased with second place. Like
Yes.
1 second away from Dorian, who is a very good sprinter, and yeah, that was more like relief, I would say, because then
Yes.
I think I'm more on track for Bermuda and Abu Dhabi than if it was an opposite race.
You guys made a commitment back in 2010 that someone would win a gold medal by 2020, and that was you. Have things changed in Norway in terms of the awareness of triathlon? Because you told me back then, like, yeah, I was 13th in the Olympics, but nobody cares. Unless you're getting a medal, and unless it's gold, no, because we have so many cross-country skiers and winter sports athletes winning gold medals, that nobody cares about triathlon until we win a gold. Have things changed with the way you and Gustav have been dominating the sport?
Well, I guess it's getting more and more attention.
Yes.
So I think people is more and more aware of triathlon and what we do and what we win. So that's cool, and also getting the event to Bergen.
Yes.
And I think it wouldn't be possible without doing what we have done with the national team and creating their results.
Right. So when you get third in Kona, and that was obviously a big goal, do you you go back and look at your files and go, hey, these are the mistakes I made, or do you just look at it and go, hey, Gustav was better on the day?
Well, he was better on the day, but then I think for the last 3 weeks, every evening I've been like thinking, okay, which session did I do wrong in? Like, what did I push too hard in the last week? Did I push? Was it too low intensity? Like, should I breaking up the session with shorter intervals instead? And like, you just try to really think twice about everything you did, and why I wasn't in the position or having the legs that I needed to coming off the bike. And even like, did I push too much power on the bike? Like up to heavy, for example. Did I take anything out of me, and even down to the nutrition? Didn't I get enough nutrition? Should I then taken an extra gel on the way back from heavy, and like all those small things? And it makes you like think twice. But we will see what we can do next year with it.
So in Kona, we do at Four Seasons, we do a cake, right? A big cake. Now, we don't have the Four Seasons bakers here, but Heidi has put something together with sort of like a cake for our Ironman 70.3 world champion, Mr. Kristian Blummenfelt.
Thank you. I think this is more like possible to eat than the cake Gustav.
Way
too big.
Way too big and way too non-functional. This is way more functional.
This is more made for one.
This one person, just for you, not to share. No, you don't want to share with anybody. No, And it seems like the races that you don't win are the ones that stay in your head, rather than the ones. I mean, you won 70.3 World Championship yesterday. What you did in Kona, you took like 8 minutes off the course record, and didn't win the race, but you took 8 minutes off the existing course record. But the races you don't win stay with you.
Yeah, that's the one that's sticking the most. like you just can't get out of your mind.
Yes.
So
well, it means you have to come back.
Yeah,
and get that title.
I think all triathletes want to have that title.
That's the title. That's the
or
one.
Winning that race.
Well, I think all triathletes would be very excited to have your resume from this last year and a half. What you've done is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's been good. So
it's been good.
It's basically, as I was like imagining, like this, putting up the list of races I wanted to win. It's been basically done. But I have still more on the list that I want to do.
Well, there's Challenge Roth out there. There's another gold medal. There's a mixed relay, which would be great for Norway to have enough athletes in the games to win. So there's a few things.
Yeah. So we have 2 exciting years ahead of us, I guess.
I love it. Well, hopefully we'll chat a lot more. I always enjoy chatting with you. I love what you bring to the sport.
Thank you. It must be a record. 7 times.
Breakfast
this year.
I think we've had a lot of breakfast, and this is probably the first time I've really given you breakfast.
Yeah. So it's pretty good.
Kristian Blummenfelt has been our guest again. Everybody, we're talking Ironman 70.3 world champion to add to his Ironman World Championship here in St. George. You are the king of St. George. You own this place.
Yeah, I like to think so.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will be right back.